with your Facebook Live.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Verl Workman's doing it, and I'm
okay.
his guest for the hour, so it should be interesting to see how long that goes. Okay, but I got a lot of my cool tools with me. So, all right, gang. All right, you ready? For those of you who are joining us, so this is our show for Sunday, the 28th of 2000 and what the heck, 2020.
20.
We have a new URL, which I printed.
Was it LouisvilleHomeSales.com, yeah?
Yeah, LouisvilleHomeSales.com.
Is that already set as a redirect?
Yep, try it. Why is
I'm
it
going
not
to try right now.
Son of a gun. You would think.
Boom.
What do you think?
Redirect. Nice. Did we get it for the first bid?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then bid us up out of that. Okay, that's good enough. Listen.
Yeah, so it was $500 to buy LouisvilleHomeSales.com. I called Greg. What do you think? Yeah, it's not bad. All right, gang. So hang on. We're gonna take this. We're gonna put this in a stealth mode. It's funny. Even when I put on my airplane mode, I still get calls. So what do you think?
Oh, I probably should turn down my.
Yeah, turn it
down
off.
my ringer.
Ringer. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. All right. You ready, everybody?
Oh, yeah.
The answers are yes. All right, here we go. And hold on, turning that off. That way we don't hear audio. Susan, will you close my door a little bit there, kiddo? Not that we need to, but. All right, coming to you in 3, 2, 1. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here from you, our homes. You know, typically we say from the studio, it's our homes. We're still doing COVID. We're practicing safe distancing, and that's all we can do. Here with us, among the people joining us, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, coming to us on a Sunday morning from his law. It is your law office you're coming to us from, right?
That is indeed.
Yep. Good to see you there, sir.
Good to see you.
Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They hire vets. They're great. They're the #1 home team inspection service in the country. And we are thrilled to see you there, sir. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. By the way, Brad's number at Home Team, 357-0813. And Chuck's number over at Chuck Crosby Law Offices, 499-6360. And also here, by popular demand, back from his vacay.
So popular.
Is my son, Greg, who does a great job marketing so much more. How you doing? You had a good vacation?
Yeah, it turns out it looks like all of Louisville is down there. I know a lot of people that were going to Destin after, even with the rising case counts. But you know, you can go down there and self-isolate on the beach. I think where the issues are coming in are where the people are going to the bars and nightclubs and things like that. So
just so everybody knows, last Sunday was my birthday, but we didn't get together as a group. Why? Because everyone's afraid to hang out with Greg, his wife Casey, and
not just me. It was raining, and then you know.
All right, never mind.
There's lots of stuff. We didn't want to be in a closed space.
All right, just want to let you know. So, a couple of things, notes here. We're going to be talking about in just a couple of moments forbearance. What is it? How much of a problem is it? And we'll talk about some of the things that we are hearing through the grapevine. That's coming up in a second. Also, 15 surprising places to paint before putting your house on the market. And if that's not enough, 10 expert tips for greener, healthier yard care. If we can get to that, we got a lot on the table. Something new to mark down: if you are thinking about buying or selling your home, you can go to LouisvilleHomeSales.com. That's all one word. LouisvilleHomeSales.com. There's a form there. Fill out. Comes to me. We get it rocking and rolling. We'll call you immediately. If you want to know about what people are saying about our Sokoler team at Remax Properties East, head to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. There's video there. You want to read about people are saying, go to LouisvilleZillow.com. All right. Let's start out with a serious situation that we're dealing with, all of us. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see a redirect of this show, video of it, go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. That'll take you to our YouTube channel, so you can, because we're about to get some a dose of some heavy information everybody needs to know to share with friends, family, and work associates. LouisvilleAnswers.com. You may have heard us talk about in past months the word forbearance. The definition of forbearance is when your mortgage servicer or lender allows you to temporarily pay your mortgage at a lower payment or pause paying your mortgage, but you will have to pay the payment reduction or the paused payments back later. Chuck Crosby is well aware of what forbearance is and is a concern to what that may mean to a lot of homeowners right now. Chuck, thoughts on this?
Well, the fact is, if you need it, it's really a great thing. It's a lifeline. It helps you to keep your house. The problem comes in that then shows that you haven't kept up with your agreement. Because they allow you to do something doesn't mean it's always the best option. For instance, if you can make your payment, I cannot conceive of a situation where you shouldn't. Only those that can't should avail themselves of this for quite a few different reasons. Among them are every single loan that I'm doing now. If you want to avail yourself of the great interest rates, buy a house, refinance, if you actually have to sign off on a document that says that you have not attempted to take forbearance on any property, and that you do not intend to take forbearance on the property, on the mortgage that you're taking out. So that in and of itself would suggest to me that while pursuant to the CARES Act, they can't hit your credit with it. Okay, and if you do take forbearance, you really need to keep up with your credit report to make sure they don't tag you with it. But even though they aren't going to hit your credit report with it, that's not the only way you can feel pain.
We should point out that this is some information that's come out in the past week. It's the current crisis shaping up to be much worse than the housing stock market crash of 2008. 19 million mortgages are already in forbearance. In less than 3 months, these 19 million homeowners will owe 4 house payments all at once, and they'll be prohibited from refinancing for 3 years, and many lenders are going to give them another 3 months before they start making payments.
On top of that, and that's a good point. It kind of ties into this Forbes article that I've been reading, and it's important to mention that some lenders and there's some mortgage servicers are putting it on the back end of the mortgage, not necessarily trying to collect it all up front. But there is.
Go ahead.
Right. Depends on the agreement. What I was reading was that, as Bob said, at the end of this 3-month original forbearance, actually the legislature just passed an additional, I believe, 3 months into September. And I'm reading this Forbes article, and that we're not politicians or economists, but it'd be hard to believe that the government would start right before an election, all of a sudden making these due. And this kind of ties into our inventory issue that we're seeing, because they're citing that if you don't have to pay your mortgage right now, well, then why would you sell your house? Even if, Chuck said, just because you can do something doesn't mean it's the best way. I personally know a couple people who didn't need to take forbearance, but decided to because they thought it was the thing to do at the time with all the fervor. So you've got a lot of people that are sitting, not paying the mortgage, not in a hurry to sell, because then they would have to actually pay something. There's that. And the belief is that there's a wave coming after this forbearance clears up in possibly 2021. Obviously we see rates, you can watch the news, rates of COVID are on the rise. Hospitalization rates are back up. And so there's a lot of uncertainty here with this inventory and certainly forbearance and what effects it's going to have in the market. And I think that's what we're trying to.
Yeah, and Brad Lawler, stand by. We're coming to you with this because you're going to catch the bottom line on this one. So if, as Greg points out, that there's an extension of another 3 payments and then the new payment coming up, there will be an estimated 7 payments being required of a buyer who may or may not be back to work, or I should say a homeowner who may or may not be back to work all at once, which is going to be impossible. And that will mean that there could potentially be, Chuck Crosby, foreclosures down the line, or are they just taking the lump sum, or are they putting that on the back end of the
Well,
initial mortgage.
I've seen several different plans being floated, and it depends on whether it's a Fannie Mae, a Freddie Mac, an FHA, USDA. It depends on the type of loan as to how the payments go back. What I've seen floated is that they can add it to the back end of the loan, and they can run it out in some cases to a 30-year, some cases to a 40-year, which is never a great idea. Adding it into your payments to cover it over the next 12 months, that kind of thing.
Right.
So there'll be
Across.
there'll be some options. But the fact of the matter is, it just seems to me that if you're in trouble to the point that you have to take this, and then all of a sudden the time runs out on it, because there is a time limit to all this, you're not going to be in a position to catch it back up. It's not like you're saving a nest egg for this. So I just find it really hard to believe that they're going to just drop them. I think
so it's showing on this article showing August 31st is the new Fannie and Freddie date officially as of the moment, and it's saying like something like, and Bob put out whatever, a couple million, it's 9% of all mortgages. They're saying, they're predicting are in forbearance.
So that's almost 1 in 10. The lenders we're hearing are frantically preparing for a tidal wave of up to 15 million foreclosures. So there's a whole series of things that this triggers. One, it means that if it does go into foreclosure or even a short sale, which we were involved with intensely back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and slowed down in 12. The short sales, then the foreclosures, which will mean for anybody who are buyers, unfortunately for the sellers or those in forbearance, the buyers are going to have a field day trying to get homes because they'll be out there in a foreclosure mode. Mind you also that because there could be a glut of inventory coming on the market could reduce the cost of homes across the country. In other words, prices could go down. And incidentally, to that note, we're preparing a report for next Sunday on what the experts are saying about future home prices. So that's coming your way next Sunday. And you may be shocked as to what the theories are based on who we're talking to. Then, so we're going to have an abundance of homes on the market. Prices could go down. And that's where, Brad, we come back to you. And that means you'll be hired by, are you hired by banks at that point to do inspections, pre-inspections or post?
Yeah, we have been. In fact, we did a short sale inspection here just this past week for an investor.
Already?
Yeah, already. So there's a little bit of talk. We're not seeing a whole lot of it, but yes, it's not unusual for banks to get involved with us and wanting just another set of eyes on some of the properties. They tend to be the higher end properties that we're called in to inspect. So I could definitely see where that might come back, here in the next few months as more inspections on the tab.
The concerns are that just right now, just as the market is, it is extremely hot in the price ranges from 100 to about 350,000. Greg, did you see the report I sent out on Monday morning about the market update? The absorption rate, which is if we turn the faucet off, don't allow any more homes back on the market, how long would it take the existing buyers to buy or absorb the homes on the market? Anything over a 6-month supply is a buyer's market. 5 to 6 month supply is neutral. Anything less than a 5-month supply is a seller's market. And the lower the number, under 5, the stronger the supply or buyer demand for this. And in the 100 to say 200,000, did you see it? It was like
even higher. Oh yeah, I mean it's ridiculous right now.
1.2, 1.5.
And we saw some of this last year, which is crazy. We're in, and I know you saw just to forget the price points. The volume in general of homes right now in the market is low, and that's why it was something hovering around the mid 2,000.
As of Wednesday, we actually it was actually Tuesday. They dipped to 1,988.
And I mean, and so we usually guys hover around 4,500 in a healthy market. We haven't seen that in some times, but this tie into forbearance and people just kind of sitting on inventory right now. Typically when people have job growth and people are moving around, that's when they move. And we're not seeing a lot of that, but we are seeing buyers ready to buy still. We still have a large trough of buyers. You can hear it from Brad to Chuck to every one of our attorneys we're doing closings. We're constantly, my wife has 10 contracts on the books right now. It's simply the inventory. As soon as it comes up now, it's going.
If you're thinking about selling, this is the perfect time to really do it. You still have plenty of time. The market is pushed back into the year a little bit because of COVID. And call me at 376-5483 or go to LouisvilleHomesales.com. In wrapping this up, just to let you know, I had a dinner the other night with Randy Rocky over at Swan Financial. We talked about what the potential outcome will be for potential owners of homes who are in forbearance or who have requested forbearance. And his thinking is that we may see the government step in and say, basically, okay, you're in forbearance. We're not going to hold that against your credit rating, but you're going to need to pay it back as you work out with the mortgage company that services your loan. We're preparing a report that will involve what Chuck just said, also what Randy says, and some of the other forecasts for what's going on. In a video that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. If you want it, send me an email, the future of home sales. Send that to me, bob@wesellouisville.com. Just put a subject line, future of home sales, and as soon as we put it all together, we'll send it out to you. You can also hear more, just replaying what we're talking about here, because it is important. Again, going to LouisvilleAnswers.com. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to lighten things up, talking about places to paint, because we'll talk with Brad about where he looks and what he's looking for, and the rest of us have a good experience. Chuck just bought a new place a couple of years ago, so everybody's involved in this. Greg is building a new place and has just sold his, and I just bought a new house three years ago. So in the studio, I would normally say, but from their offices this morning, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, 499-6360. Also, Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. My son, Greg, does a great job marketing, photography, and so much more. And you can reach me anytime, as we are telling you, we're selling homes as fast as we are putting them on the market. We need homes to sell. The problem is there are so many homes flying off the market that we need many to come back and replenish to get it for buyers. Call me, 376-5483. Back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler, the Sokoler team, RE/MAX Properties East. Thank you, Barbara Cochran, and everything you do for us. I love her. She's a great friend. Greg met her last time we were up in New York, and I would say, Greg, that you had a good time, right? You didn't expect Barbara. She's a straight shooter, don't you?
No, she is as seen on TV, even in the unless she just puts it on all the time. But I mean, she's
there. Yeah. So we thank you, Barbara, for being in our corner. Brad Lawler,
excellent. My mom will be glad to know that she really likes. Yeah.
Really. So tell her she really is a straight shooter. That's the voice of Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, 499-6360, coming from his office. Brad Lawler, if you're looking at this on the replay, looks like he's at his chateau.
Oh, yeah.
You can see the replay at LouisvilleAnswers.com.
Gorgeous.
And Brad is coming from his office. It really is. It's just a background on Zoom. And his number at Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. My son Greg is coming to us from his barn. No, he's in a room that has a barn door on it. And by the way, the replay of this show is worth going to look at just to see the picture behind Chuck Crosby right now. Because if you zoom in and look carefully, and if you want to take that off the wall and show it up to the camera, it's a picture of Chuck in the pose of Captain James Tiberius Kirk on the Enterprise. He is recreating that pose on the set of LouisvilleAnswers.com. That's how we get people to watch it on the YouTube channel. All right. And you can reach me anytime, Bob Sokoler, 376-5483. A lot of us are selling or have sold, and I would say the past 3 years. Have you sold a house recently, Brad? Probably not, right?
No, I'm 21 years in my my current house. Janet won't move. Won't move. She won't do it. She will not do it.
It's your patriotic duty to buy and sell.
That's what I tell her. That's what I tell her. She's been a hard no.
When you go in, your people go in to inspect a home, what are they looking for? I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but when it comes to paint, what are you specifically looking for? Because this was the genesis of the reason I brought this up as a topic.
So we always expect to see fresh paint. That's just, that's what you expect to see in a house that's on the market for sale. It's been prepped, it's gotten ready. The question that we're looking for, the things that we're looking for are examples of paint that's maybe rough, maybe it's bubbled, maybe it's already showing signs of staining. So we're looking for things that might have been done to cover things up rather than just make them trendy and modern and clean. So
Right.
there's a difference there, but we're not going in and judging whether or not it's good paint or bad paint. The sheen is wrong. That's for other people
Hey,
to
they patched
decide.
this eggshell with the
Yeah.
improper
Yes.
latex.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We don't call out those areas where poor painting was done, but we're really cautious when we see a lot of new paint in areas that are susceptible to water.
So
Those are.
if someone's buying a home that was built before 1978,
Mhm.
which is when lead-based paint was outlawed officially, it was phased out before that.
Yes.
What can you determine by looking at the paint in a pre-60?
Aside from what Chuck does when he scrapes a piece and tastes it,
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
just to
Chuck,
check.
give us the line that you have. Radiator.
Radiator nachos.
Yes,
That's
sir.
growing
When
up.
you find the peeling paint on the old water
Put some
heater
Parmesan cheese on
registers,
that bad boy.
Yeah.
Listen,
they're
folks,
good by themselves.
do not try that at home. Chuck is being funny. That's
It
his
explains
humor.
my 6 kids.
It explains Chuck. It explains
You mean
Chuck.
one kid with 6 heads, right?
All right.
Yeah,
No,
something like
Yeah.
that.
So just know we're just joking about the radiator nachos. Don't take that seriously.
Yeah.
But back to the serious side of this, Brad.
Yep.
They outlawed it 68. Can't
Yep.
eat it. It hurts. It's
Ye-
a brain problem. But so what are you looking for then?
All right. So the thing about lead-based paint that we're looking for is actually lead-based paint was used in areas where moisture was a problem. So you're going to find it in bathrooms. You're going to find it in kitchens. They really now while it's they really didn't use it on the interior of houses really past the 50s and 60s. It was used consistently on exterior paint. Could it be used inside? Yes. That's why you have the disclosures. So if we're testing for lead-based paint, many of our clients buying older homes actually will have a spot test for the lead-based paint. And we are doing a wet chemical test in hidden areas, typically under a windowsill, in a bathroom, windows, in kitchens. Those are the areas where the lead-based paint is going to show up. We're always looking for paint chips and flakes as well. So like you say, radiators, anything that around windowsills that might have flaked off, those are always areas of concern for us.
Okay. So back up. Cost on running lead-based paint chip test. Yeah.
25 bucks. It's really a spot
Really?
test. Yeah, it's not it's not it's invasive in that we have to cut through the paint, but we cut through the paint in hidden areas. So it's an inexpensive test. It's not seen, but it tells you whether or not the paint's there. For families with small children, in areas where a child can put their mouth on it, so anything basically below 48 inches from the floor, those are the areas that you want to test. Those are the areas you want to make sure that you don't have it. Consumers can do it too. I mean, there's consumer type testing out there. Other samples can be taken. Commercial applications will take actually bulk samples of paint chips and send them to a lab for analysis. But in a home, usually the wet chemical spot test is what you're going to do.
Are you looking specifically for peeling paint on door jambs?
Yes.
Especially in the older homes, obviously.
Yes, any
Yeah.
paint that's alligatoring, starting to checker on you, it's going to be found in high traffic areas. So around door jambs, sills, anywhere that there's going to be friction is going to be a problem because that's where the lead dust comes from.
Okay.
Those friction materials.
So that brings us to, so if a homeowner is thinking about selling their home, whether it's a newer home or pre 1978, they should consider scraping or just painting over with non-lead based, obviously it would be non-lead based paint.
Yeah, it would be non-lead based. Now, the challenge that you have there is if it is pre-78, you're going to have a lead-based remediator, a painter trained in those techniques, and basically all painters have to do that in order to scrape properly, seal the rooms off, do that correctly. Homeowners are allowed to do it under EPA rules. However, it's not the best idea because they're probably not using respirators and other protective equipment to do that kind of work.
Got it. So
Mhm.
there's some clues, folks. If you're thinking of selling, whether it's a newer or older, if there's chipping, paint, and by the way, if it's the buyer is going with an FHA backed home, a loan for the home, FHA appraiser / inspector will be looking for things like chip paint and require that they be.
They'll be looking for the checkering and the alligators who eat the radiator nachos, right? That's what I
Exactly.
got.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, something
So,
like that. Pretty
okay,
close.
so that brings us to, so where should you paint in addition to looking for these chips or peeling paint? Where should you? So let's go through the list. And again, you can replay this. If you go to LouisvilleAnswers.com, it'll take you to the YouTube channel where this show's being held and replayed. You should paint your front door, your house numbers, either paint them, take them off, paint them, put them back, or buy new ones. Your mailbox. It's among the first things that a homeowner is going to see, or buyer, when they walk up to your house. Paint or replace your garage door. Back in 2019, the number one thing that would get you the most money back on what you spent was your garage door, 100% back. Everything else is 70, 80%. Your exterior trim of the house, which is where you're going to see potential chipping, also potential mold, mildew, and a variety of other things that you want to make sure that that looks good. Because remember, the buyers and their buyer agents are walking around your house, and they're looking to see if the house has been well cared for, which will impact the amount of money that they're going to be offering you on your home. So
Psychology, baby. Psychology.
do it first step forward, put your best foot forward, and that is do these things. Now, here's what you may not think of: your electrical box. Brad, weigh in on this. I would have never thought of this, but if you've got an electrical box that looks like it's been through heck and back, would you look at it twice if it is in bad shape or rusted, especially if it's outside? Or if it's painted, does that give you a better feel, warm and fuzzy, even though you haven't looked at the inside?
So I'm going to look in the inside of that electrical panel. So I'm assuming you're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about, and I need to make sure. I don't know if they're talking about outside.
Outside. We're not painting
yeah.
the inside, right?
Okay.
We're not gonna,
Yeah. If there's an exterior distribution panel, then we're going to open it up,
Yeah.
and you don't want to see rust in there. You don't want to see corrosion. But I will
Don't
say,
touch the inside, though, folks.
don't touch the inside.
Right.
The only problem with the outside is that the inspector's still going to open up to look inside, and really you're not going to be able to put the lipstick on the pig if the box is all rusted out on the inside.
Got it.
So,
All right.
Right.
We've got
And don't paint it shut either. We've seen that where people just.
Yeah. All right.
don't.
We've got less than 2 minutes. You want to do your decking. Make sure that looks good. Your fences and gates. Make some touch-ups throughout the house. Interior window trim where it could be beat up from opening and closing. Do it neatly. Kitchen walls and cabinets are another thing that you want to make sure that looks good. Bathroom walls and cabinets. Paint behind the toilet, for goodness sakes. If you've painted the bathroom and you didn't go behind the toilet tank, note a buyer's agent and buyers will potentially,
Rookies.
especially if they could see little missing pieces of paint, it's worth it to get a really thin roller. Am I right, guys? Chuck,
Oh,
you
yeah.
probably have done this. You get the
Yes.
little thin roller, you put it behind the tank. They can't see, even if you hit the back of the tank, they're not going to know.
Well, when we bought the place, I saw behind the toilet, and it's like, oh, hey, they didn't paint here.
See, I'm not kidding.
Tisk, tisk.
If you've got a wall accent, paint over it, make it one color. Wall accent's not so good. If you've got writing on the wall, not to say anything negative about God bless this house, you might want to pull that decal down for selling. Any main space living, and remember, clever projects, tutorials, they're all online. If you need them, you can just do a YouTube Google search. We are out of time. All right. My thanks to Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Thanks, buddy, for being here. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. They're number one home team in the country, and they hire vets. We appreciate everything you do.
Hey,
And
thank you.
as I do for my son, Greg, everything he does, great guy. And again, you can reach me anytime on my cell phone at 376-5483, Bob Sokoler. If you want to talk about getting the house on the market, our new website URL is LouisvilleHomesales.com. If you want to see a rebroadcast of this show, LouisvilleAnswers.com. I got too many, don't I? Louisville Answers. And then to see what people are saying about us, head to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com or go to LouisvilleZillow.com to see what people are writing about us. Gentlemen, thank you all for being here. We will see you next Sunday right here
Next
on
time.
News Radio 840 WHAS. All right, guys. Well, we got a lot in there. We never got to the tips for greener, healthier lawn care.
That was ambitious.
Yeah.
That was
Too
full.
ambitious. That was
Goats.
a good show. So we're cutting
So-
the stuff up, Chuck, just so you know. The forbearance stuff, cutting
Okay.
that with Randy, we're pushing out. We've got 30, 40,000 people on this email. We're gonna and then we'll also post it up on Facebook and a variety of things next couple of weeks.
Brad, what do you think about spraying backyards with what do they call it? Cutter, something to kill bugs?
What type of bugs you talking about? Are you talking about mosquitoes? Are you talking
Mosquitoes and
about
such.
grubs? Yeah, everyone's doing that. Don't pay a lot of money for it, and it's something that you have to do very, very frequently.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's like 6-7 treatments over the summer. I think it works from what I've heard, but I think removing water around your house is the place to start.
Do you have flies? What do you have flying around?
No, just mosquitoes. Sherry gets eaten whenever she goes outside, but
Yeah, I've been getting it bad this year. In Florida, the gnats, like the little, it's like a plague. You can't open your mouth. They're everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
it was a really, really mild winter, so nothing was killed off. So it's a much worse bug season. Yeah, fleas.
Well, we don't
fleas
have
are
them
awful.
very bad, but
Yeah,
fleas
are really, really bad right now. Yeah, they are on everything because they did not die off this winter.
So 2 thoughts, Chuck. You brought this on yourself building that enormous deck. So
we don't have a bad problem. I don't get bitten at all. Sherry gets bitten.
The one thing you should do, Chuck, is when you're out there, put a fan out on the deck with you. Because the mosquitoes can't handle any of the airflow.
Really?
So
now, that's a good idea.
Put a fan out there. That'll take care of a lot of your problem.
And for the flies, I got as a gift last year, you put salt in it and you shoot it. It's an air gun with salt. What was
this is, I know what you're talking about, but you guys know that this is the year of the 17-year cicada.
No.
But they're not
coming.
Yeah, but they're not around
coming?
here. No, they're not here.
Oh, they're not
That's
here?
Not
Okay.
our brood. No,
Good.
that's not our brood.
Okay. I just saw something. I was looking up. I just remember. I was like, I think cicadas are coming.
Carolinas.
Okay.
Carolinas.
Cicadas and pigs finding cocaine in the ground. I mean, come on.
What?
Chuck,
saw something floating around.
Chuck.
Yeah.
It's called Bug Assault.
Bug Assault.
Bugassault.com.
That's a cute name.
And there's a website for it. Bugassault.com. You pour salt in the
little gun.
There was a Father's Day sale, $29.95. Use code DAD2020, and
oh goodness.
I'm not kidding. This is a legitimate deal.
Oh my God.
I've seen this before.
So it's fun. You take them down with salt,
and then you lick your wall afterwards because it's salty. Huh?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that in the house, but
no, not in the house. But I'm going to do it in the backyard. So
get some mosquitoes down.
Is this like an interactive website?
No, I don't know
where
about
I'm
that.
supposed
I know
to be shooting a fly.
I think it's flying all over the website. I know. Bugassault.com.
Oh,
so you learn something new every day. All right, guys. Thank you all. We'll post it. We'll get it going. We thank you and love you, and we'll talk next couple of days.
Sounds great.
Get the fly yet?
And see you both next week. Yeah. Good luck with the bugs, Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get this.
I know.
I'm trying. Now I'm on it too. I'm over here trying to send it.
I'm going to go pick up 3 of them, I think.
I've got one in my house. I'm going to be using this summer. So yes.
Oh,
that's a genius website with the cross. It's genius.
I know. It's perfect.
It's great.
All right.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
All
right.
Bye.